Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today we're looking into some gardening notes, actually, from someone called Ang, dated May 16th, 2025. Ang's been considering the dwarf Euphorbia Milii, the crown of thorns plant, but a smaller version, thinking about using it for landscaping. So our mission today is to pull out the key insights from Ang's early thoughts for anyone maybe thinking about this plant.
Yeah, and what's interesting is where Aang starts. It's clear they already know the standard Euphorbia Milii.
Right.
They mention how tough it is, that you don't need to water or fertilize it constantly. That baseline hardiness, well, that's a big plus right there.
Totally. Saves a lot of hassle. But then Aang zooms in on the dwarf type, for the front yard specifically. Why the small one, do you think? Just fitting it in? Or something more?
Probably a bit of both. Dwarf plants can definitely give it a different look, a different scale.
Yeah.
But Aang points out something really crucial almost immediately, making sure you actually get the dwarf one. Because there are apparently tons of Euphorbia Milii cultivars. And if you accidentally get a taller one thinking it's dwarf, well, you might end up needing stakes or support down the line.
Which kind of defeats the purpose if you wanted something compact and easy.
Exactly. So that's a key takeaway right there. Double check the specific variety and its growth habits.
Yep.
Always. Avoid surprises.
Good point. Okay, so Aang also notes some characteristics. First up, hardwood stem. What does that signal?
Hardwood stem. It suggests it's pretty sturdy, less likely to flop over, maybe handle a bit of wind or being brushed past without needing help. And sticking with that low-maintenance theme, Aang brings up the plant's natural toxicity.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because on one side, maybe fewer pests bother it. Less spraying, less worry.
That's the idea. It acts like a built-in pest deterrent. But Aang is quick to see the other side, too, the safety issue.
Right. If you've got pets or, small kids running around, a toxic plant is a serious thing to consider.
Absolutely. So Aang weighing that up really highlights another big takeaway. You have to think about who uses the space. Safety first, especially for pets and children.
Makes sense. Still, Aang mentions the bloom's red ones in clusters. They obviously like the look.
Yeah, aesthetics definitely count. Even with all the practical stuff, you want your garden to look good.
True. But Aang doesn't stop there, does him? They immediately jump to, the really practical stuff.
Right, sourcing. Can they actually find this specific dwarf cultivar? And crucially, can they get enough of it for landscaping without it costing a fortune?
Which is often the sticking point with specific cultivars. Availability and price.
And that leads to Aang's plan B.
Which is?
If getting a whole load of them isn't practical right now, Aang thinks about just grabbing a few samples first to test them out.
Smart. See how they actually do in their garden before going all in, low risk?
Yeah, it's a patient approach. And that's another good insight, really. Sometimes gardening is about trying things out small scale first. Observe, then commit. Saves hassle later.
Okay, so let's recap Aang's initial thoughts on this dwarf Euphorbia Milii. Potential looks good. It's tough, low care, might resist pests because it's toxic and the flowers are nice, but...
That toxicity is a big safety check. And then there's the practical question. Can you actually get the true dwarf easily and affordably?
Yeah, those are the main hurdles Aang identified.
And, stepping back, Aang's notes really show that whole thought process gardeners go through, don't they? It's all about balancing things. The pros, the cons, the practicalities, the look.
It really is. Which kind of brings us to you, listening. When you're picking plants for your own garden or balcony or whatever space you have, what are your non-negotiables? How do you personally weigh, say, maintenance versus safety versus just really liking how a plant looks? Something to maybe think about next time you're plant shopping?